Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Lady V here. Lady V, Lady V. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Good morning, Audra. And I think I saw another person. Your name went away really quickly. Okay, so, hello, Clark Wealthy. Good, hardworking, hardly working. So funny. Hey, Audra. Good to see you guys. Okay, so before I start my tips this morning, I want to tell you guys, I'm Vanshetta Rudisil. I'm Lady V, President, CEO of Epiphany Consulting. There's that. Got that out of the way. If you need me, go to my website, ladyvspeaks.com. Two things took place on, today's Wednesday. So two things happened. One thing on yesterday and one thing the day prior took place that prompted this scope. So I'm going to give you item one. So item one, which was Monday night, I watched the movie called Beyond the Lights. Now, don't ask me any of the stars in it. I can't tell you besides the one man who played in Alien. I think he played in Alien, Danny Glover. Besides him, I can't tell you who any of the other stars are that's in the movie. But the movie was about a young lady who was a pop star, and she had been from a little bitty girl, loves to sing, and she wanted to be a star. And she wanted to sing, had her mother pushing her. Her mom was her biggest advocate, but I also say one of her biggest roadblocks because she kept needing permission to be who she was. So if you haven't seen the movie, good morning, career engineer. It's good to see you. If you haven't seen Beyond the Lights, it's a great movie, but boy, does it cause you to self-reflect and really think about who in my life and who in my world and in my space I know, it's a great movie. Who in my life is actually halting me from stepping into my own greatness? And it can be loved ones, guys. It can be loved ones. It can be your girlfriends. Thank you so much for the heart, love. I appreciate it. It can be, it can be your workplace, you name it. There can be all these roadblocks around your life that you may or may not recognize. It took this young lady in the movie close to the end of the movie before she started to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I'm the one with the gift. I do what I want to do, and here is what I really desire to do. Because she literally had let the label and her mother create her into this whole other person who wasn't even who she was. So much so that she almost committed suicide. Think about that. That's happening right now, guys. That's happening right now in our schools, in our workplaces, in government. It is happening right now where people are allowing the people around them to stop them or give me permission to be great. That was one thing bothered me. Thing two that bothered me, and I think I was mad about this from the time I saw it on Twitter. I don't know, I must have saw it last night about 11:45, maybe 10:45, 11:45 last night. One of the things I saw was that the Xerox CEO Ursula Burns is going to be stepping down. That's not what bothered me because the lady has put her time in. If she wants to do something else, that's within her right. What bothered me was, in particular, the article said she was the only woman of color heading up a public company. That bothered me. That bothered me more than anything. Number one, that the article had the nerves to point it out. But number two, why is she the only one? Why is she the only one? What's happening there? Because here's what happens. When you begin to step into your own greatness and you begin to see who you are and recognize who you are and that power that's within you, you become a threat. Stop thinking you're going to be on the popularity bandwagon. You're not. It's just not going to happen. Once you begin to really embrace that mirror and see who you are and embrace that person and all that God has for you, whoa, it's going to be ridiculous. So it didn't bother me that she's stepping down because the woman's been at the helm for a while. I'm sure it's not been an easy journey. I wondered, why is she the only one? That's what bugged me. So I'm going to tell you thing 3 that bugged me. Thing 3. We have a lot of boards and commissions in all of our local cities. How active are we women? How active are we women of color? Blue, purple, green, orange, I don't care. How active are we? So those are 2 things that are really, really they're bugging me. They're really, really bugging me. So why aren't we active on boards and commissions like we need to be? Why is not active at all, ergo Flint? Exactly. So we might say things like, okay, well, I don't have time. I have this commitment. I have that commitment. Guys, I'm not saying be everywhere, but you have to be somewhere, and you need to be in the places that you can directly impact change, and you don't need permission to be there. Okay? So I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can stop. Good morning, Live My Life Debt Free. I don't even know how I recap what all just took place before I start my tips. So I'm going to say watch the replay. You know me, I get passionate. Those who do know me, I get passionate. Something fires me up. This bugs me. So women of color, why aren't we where we need to be? There is no such thing that I'm too busy. It isn't. Pick a board, pick a commission, and get your butt active. Because here's what happens. It's just like voting. I don't mean to go to politics, but it's just like voting. We want to vote for the president, yay, but we don't show up in the local elections. That's a problem. Because guess what? The people who are at Congress and who are fighting every single change that you want to see happen, guess how they got elected? Locally. The election that you didn't have time to go to. The election that you didn't have 5 minutes to walk in and say, hey, let me cast my vote. So then we're on the back end being upset. That's not okay. Trying to calm myself down before I give myself a heart attack. So, local politics. Yes, exactly. It affects your pockets and your pocketbooks. I'm going to bring up something. We're fussing about the tolls, right? Let me remind you guys. 2008, somebody correct my math. I want to say it was 2008. VDOT sent out a survey back in 2008, and it came up on the ballot to, hey, can everybody afford, I think it was 1 penny or 3 cents. It was 1 penny or 3 pennies. I can't remember. I'm like, yeah, I can afford that, so we don't have the tolls, so that you have the money that you need to do the roads. Do you know, you people, y'all came out in mass numbers to say, no, penny. Now we're paying dollars. Let that resonate for a minute. The penny bugged you, but now you're paying dollars to go across tunnels and bridges. 2008. Look it up. Go to VDOT's website. That's one thing they did a great job on. Shout out to VDOT, because they kept a time capture of how they involved the public. And we came out for the wrong thing. So let's talk about it. Let me calm my blood pressure down, and I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can stop asking for permission. So I wrote them down so I wouldn't get off track. First way, it's your mirror, it's your life, your